All right, and we are back for part 11. Yeah, that part with the tram was pretty frustrating, but let's go back and see how things are happening on the old Resolute.
Doing everything I can, but I can't shake her!
I figured without me you didn't stand a chance. I'm here for the ship and the crew, not for you. I couldn't just sit in my quarters, waiting to get turned into a Takan.
Your timing's perfect. We need your help now more than ever.
Clearly.
They're targeting our engines. With Bioform Takan on board, they'd rather cripple us if they can.
If we lose the engines, we can't avoid the bioforming ray. Brace for impact!
They're here!
We're being hailed by the USS Titan.
Put them through.
Sorry to keep you waiting, Resolute. We got here as fast as we could. Looks like you've got your hands full with this monster.
We're damn glad to see you, Captain. We could use all the help we can get.
I told you I'd be here. So, what are we up against?
They're powering up for another attack.
We have to warn them. Open a channel to all Starfleet ships immediately.
Starting emergency transmission.
This is Captain Jara Rydek of the USS Resolute. The ship we're fighting is armed with a bioforming ray that can transform your entire crew instantaneously. Avoid being hit at all costs.
And remember, they have our shield algorithms, so take preemptive evasive action.
It's only a matter of time before they get their bearings. And when they do, they're going to turn against us. The sooner we attack them, the better.
They could all be Takan. Or none of them.
I can't attack another Federation ship. I need alternatives. Full impulse power. Take us in for a closer look.
Aye, Captain.
That's not a Starfleet ship. The Takan have it.
Shields at full power!
Shields are holding against the Pawtucket's attack. For now, at least.
Fire phasers!
Firing. Shields at 60%. Heavy damage reported in astrometrics.
Handjar, evasive maneuvers! Get us out of here!
Aye, Captain!
Don't worry, Resolute. We've got your back.
Their weapon systems are offline.
Captain, I suggest we minimize the collateral damage. Destroy their engines and we can turn our focus to the Aphelion. It's the most prudent thing to do. And I hope they would do the same if the situation was reversed.
Take out their engines. Fire when ready.
Targeting their engines. Commencing fire. Now.
Captain Rydek, the Aphelion is too much for any one of us to take on alone. But collectively, we might just have a shot.
On our way. Full impulse power.
Aye, Captain.
Target the bioforming ray. Fire photon torpedoes!
Firing photon torpedoes.
I've lost helm control. Trying to reestablish.
Weapons and defensive systems are down too.
Engine output remains consistent, but it's not reaching its destination.
This is what happened to the Enterprise.
They're draining our energy.
We're caught in it too.
I hope the away team finds some way to help.
If there is a way to disable the Aphelion, it's there. We strike at the heart. The Cartabula. I can feel the energy.
Don't get too used to it. We're gonna take that thing down.
Oh, I didn't realize that was climb. I thought it was just look. By the way, super quickly, it's just, I feel like when you're dealing with a craft as large as the Ophelion and you've got a fleet of much smaller and presumably fairly nimble Federation ships, the rule of thumb would be just don't fly in front of this end. It's just, that's where the bad ray comes out. So stick around the hindquarters of this thing and you'll be better off. I don't know. Then again, the Takan ships are also extremely maneuverable. We saw what Portal 6-3 did to the Resolute when it needed to be more mobile. So it probably has some sort of frictionless just turn around and get you drive.
I wouldn't do that. We have to turn off this energy field to enter. I must do it. It requires the hands of a Takan. Is it working?
It started.
Is the opening wide enough to get through? Well, is it wide enough?
No, but I can see the Cartabula.
What about now?
I don't know if it sort of turned sideways.
I still can't get in.
Stand back. I'll try again.
Portal 6-3!
I'm not going to remind you of the oath you took. I want you to remember why you made it. Your bond to your people. You can bring your empire back, and all you have to do is nothing. Stand back, and we will handle them.
time doing nothing. Now, I will take action. I will exterminate these heretics. This won't take long. I'll be back.
Wait. We'll help you.
Stay here. You need to be ready to open the energy field with me.
You can't take them all on yourself.
I am a guardian of the Deccan Empire. I could take an army of them. If you can get to the Cartabula, don't wait for me.
We'll hold the line.
The gap isn't much wider. Can we get through?
Maybe we can widen it with a containment field from the tricorder. Oh!
I don't think we can crowbar our way in.
It takes a Deccan to do it.
Oh, God.
That's far enough.
Carter, I could have killed you both, easily. But the part of me that is still Miranda won't let me. She compels me to bring you into the fold. I will make you one of us. Soon, you'll understand.
The thing is, she doesn't know what this is.
Finally, we can be... rejoin the flame.
Are you all right? Carter, I'm sorry I hesitated. I tried to keep her from getting you. If I'd just shot her sooner, you wouldn't be like this.
It's okay. I don't blame you.
She's really gone. For good. I can't believe it.
It had to end this way. She was suffering. And now it's over.
Not all of them. Miranda got Carter.
You have draconian blood now. You must go and finish this, my brother.
I can read it.
What is this? Who are you? Tell me now. I demand it.
You're talking to the guy that's in charge. Pipe down while I work.
Carter, you're kind of scaring me.
It's okay. I'm still in control. We've reached the Cartabula.
Very good. Are you all right?
Yeah, we're inside. That's what matters.
Two of ours are keeping the bioform ships at bay, but they can't hold them off forever.
I'm receiving tricorder transmissions from the away team. They're picking up our warp-core resonant frequency within the Aphelion.
They're bleeding us dry. But they're not just taking our power, they're routing it through the Cartabula.
I hope I can... Gosh darn it. Okay, that doesn't seem to be something I can interact with. Ah, here we go. I just feel like we're facing a couple really specific hidden timers.
There. That's the Resolute's warp core resonant frequency.
And these others?
That frequency matches the Titan's warp core resonance. And these two are the Kimball and the Lowell.
They're both Steamrunner class. Same engine platform.
They're just tuned a little differently. I must be getting information from the bioforming, but this warning, it means that it's struggling with the power stacked up at close frequencies.
The Cartabula can't handle the dissonance?
Maybe.
Vermont to away team. Are you reading these Starfleet engine signatures?
We are. And you need to see this. The Steamrunner class frequencies are causing problems for the Aphelion's energy source. Sending visuals now.
They're vulnerable. We have to use this.
Captain, if they want to take all of our power, I suggest we give it to them.
How?
If we and the other Starfleet ships work together and send maximum warp output tuned to those same frequencies, it could overload their core.
There is merit to the theory. But if we attempt this, it would preclude any other course of action.
I wouldn't risk this ship without good reason.
Do it. We need to strike back. And we'll lead by example.
I will create a high-energy static warp shell.
We'll need the away team to guide us to the right frequency.
We read you, Resolute. You're putting a lot of faith in us, Captain. That's a hell of a plan.
I've got faith in you. And the rest of this crew. Now let's give them hell!
Yes, Captain.
I found an ejector team for the Cartabula.
So we can disengage it, just like we did with the Zeldy's warp cores.
Yeah, but it'll only activate if this thing gets completely overloaded.
So we gotta take it right up to the edge of destruction.
We are increasing the warp core resonant frequency now.
You can't do this. You'll destroy everything I've waited for.
If that thing wants to take over, it's going to have to go through the both of us. And I'm not going to let that happen. You hear me? I'm gonna fight it right along with you, Carter.
I can always count on you. You'll stand by me to the end.
This isn't the end.
Is something wrong?
No, we're fine.
Do you see our output frequency changing?
We do.
What is the impact on the Aphelion systems?
Keep it up, Resolute. It's starting to work.
I don't know what I can do better means.
The harder they'll fall.
Inertial dampeners are failing.
All warp power still being drained to the Aphelion, so that part of the plan is working. Now we need the others to join us.
Open a channel to anyone left on our side.
Opening a channel.
This is the Resolute. We're sending instructions to all ships to output maximum warp power at the designated frequency. We believe this will disable the Aphelion.
We don't know that. All we know is it'll siphon off our energy much quicker. You're leading us to disaster. Are you out of your mind? That has given them exactly what they want.
Our strength in Starfleet comes from our ability to work together, especially when everything is on the line.
I can get behind that, Captain Rydek. We're adjusting the Titan's warp output to match the Resolute's. I suggest the rest of you do the same.
The others are joining us.
This is the Takahashi. Adjusting our engines now.
Cartabula, it's compensating, counteracting our interference. But some of these other frequencies are causing spikes too. I'm gonna find a new target range for the Resolute.
Isn't this what more or less what caused the original accident on the Resolute, like before we joined the crew?
Try this out.
Tuning the engine too hot, too high of a frequency?
Here. This one's hitting the hardest. If they all converge here, it'll provide the maximum disruption to the Cartabula.
Got it. We want to overload this thing, push it to the brink, but not past it. You sure about this frequency? If we go too far, we won't just be destroying the Cartabula. We're going to take a lot more with us. I don't want to be responsible for that.
I'm sure. I bet my life on it.
It's all our lives. Sending data to the Resolute.
Updated telemetry coming from the Await. We have a new target range. Sending new parameters to engineering.
We are now running our core at 105% of recommended capacity. If we try to meet that frequency, we will generate a harmonic imbalance of our own and risk a warp core breach. I must warn you, these are precisely the engine conditions that Captain Solano's experiment brought about. A runaway reaction is a dangerous possibility right now.
We can eject the warp core if it comes to that.
Is my order beyond your ability to execute? Then you will follow it. We're all counting on you.
Yes, Captain.
We got an overload here.
It's at the breaking point.
What's happening? We got a problem. It's not gonna eject. We have to disengage the Cartabula manually. We lit this fuse. We gotta make sure it doesn't go off the wrong way. If we can pull hard enough on those levers, it'll dislodge this thing.
Is this pull though? It really feels like pushing. I don't know. This way? Down? Oh, this is cool.
Full power restored.
And the Aphelion is shutting down.
Returning warp reactor to nominal output levels.
The Takan are running off reserve power now.
I saw what you did. The sacrifice you made.
Radiation levels are spiking.
It's coming from the Cartabula. He must have damaged it. Didn't get it out before it fractured.
Our work here is done. Let's get out of here. 3 to beam back to the Resolute.
Our transporters won't cut through the interference. We can't lock on.
We can't stay here.
We're not getting away in that thing.
There. Maybe I can use this to get us out of here. I don't know if it can get us back to the Resolute, but we have to get away from here. Everybody on!
Radiation's lower here, but still too high for us to stay on the ship.
This is good, but we can do better.
And soon, I hope.
We gotta get all the way to the Resolute.
That thing is down, but not out. We'll handle the stolen Federation ships, but you need to get a crippling shot on the Aphelion.
A direct hit to its bridge will bring it down.
I can take us real close, Captain. Skim the hull of that thing where it can't get a clear shot at us.
Or
I can weave us through the battle. And hope we don't get caught in the crossfire.
We can't take much more damage.
take us along the Aphelion's hull. Get us to the bridge as fast as you can.
Aye, Captain.
I didn't think his original plan needed a plan B.
We're almost in position for a shot at the bridge.
Photon torpedoes armed and ready.
Break off this attack, or I will be forced to eradicate you.
The damaged Cartabula is continuing to release deadly amounts of radiation. Thankfully, it's still contained within the Aphelion.
But they have comrades on that ship, both living and waiting to be reborn. We're going to die in here if I don't care. We will never submit to your Federation. We are taking our rightful place as...
So much for superior beings. You don't look so superior from here.
I don't have to listen to this. We've crossed the eons to get here. Fire salvo!
Now the radiation is rising here, too.
Targeting the Resolute?
I can't let you do that.
Get on. Damn it. I can't hold on to it. I have to make manual adjustments to enhance the signal pattern. From here.
What do you mean?
I'm not gonna make it out.
No way. We're all leaving together. We've been through too much to split up now. We don't leave people behind. Got it?
I don't have long to do this. I'm bioforming. It's happening, Nilly. I have to be the one to do it.
If you send them, we'll be stuck here. Give in to me, and I will save us, not them.
Stop it.
What's happening?
It's an internal struggle, and he's losing.
Not like this.
Time's up for me. If I'm gonna get you out, it's now or never.
I don't want to leave you.
You aren't.
The time is now.
Oh, crud. Okay, then we'll go up here.
That won't work. I told you, this body is mine now. No!
Look out for each other.
The away team has beamed back.
We're in position and ready to fire, Captain.
Target their bridge.
Please, we target the ship. Pummel it to space dust, like we did.
Fire.
Carter?
Millie.
I thought you'd want to know we made it. And that you'll always be my family. Even if I don't get to see you again.
Always, Millie. Family. Forever.
Always.
All decks secure. We have the bioformed on board, fully contained.
The Starfleet ships under Takan control have signaled their surrender. Good work, Captain Rydick. Next time I need some backup, I'll know who to call. I trust you won't have a problem with that.
Just say the word and we'll be there.
I'm gonna hold you to that.
Captain, we're being hailed. It's the Aphelion.
On screen.
The radiation. We won't last much longer in here. Please, we surrender. We need your help. Please, beam us aboard your ship.
Captain, I must remind you that when an enemy is surrendered, it is our duty to render aid.
You saved the storage crystals. And there are other Takan. The bioformed on Hotari. On this very ship. We wouldn't be wiping them out if we didn't help the ones who tried to destroy us.
This is the Starfleet way.
This is the fate they've chosen. Leave them where they are.
You can't do that.
We don't have much time. We submit. I don't know what else I can say.
This is what separates us from them. The fact that we can make a gesture of peace even after all our conflict. Set up containment fields in the docking bay and beam the Takan there. Crew of the Aphelion, shut down all systems. Lower your defenses and prepare to be transported.
Thank you.
Carter! Hey,
My first order of business will be to help reestablish the Hotari government and resume peace talks, genuine talks, with the Elydians.
And after that?
Who knows? I know I don't want to be queen. There's so much good I could do with just a fraction of your medical technology if I could bring it to my people. But I also want to see what else is out there. Maybe there's even a place for me in Starfleet. It would be hard to stay on Hotari forever. Not with all there is to experience, to learn.
When you're ready, Starfleet will be waiting for you. I'll even put in a good word at the Academy.
Thank you. Perhaps I can serve on one of your ships someday.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
But there are pressing matters we must attend to before any of that. I can't thank you enough for all you've done. I'll see you again.
Starfleet has granted me the privilege of conferring this upon you. Though I'm sure Captain Solano would rather have been the one offering this. You have acted dutifully and bravely through trying circumstances. I grant you the official rank of Captain. I believe a great many wonders lie ahead for you, Jara Rydek. There appears to be nothing that can stand in your way.
Thank you, Ambassador Spock, for everything.
It is you who stopped the spread of the Takan. I should be the one giving thanks.
Victory. Peace. These things never come without a cost. For some, it requires putting aside centuries of enmity. For others, it takes facing complicated losses.
To Carter. How do you say goodbye to someone who isn't really gone? I thought I knew how to leave the past behind, but I've learned a thing or two.
And for too many, they had to pay the ultimate price. In time, history may forget their sacrifices, but those of us who were there never will. Now, all hands honor the dead. Captain Solano used to say that nothing ever stays the same. Entropy. It's the nature of the universe. As such, the crew of a starship can never stay the same. But while entropy says that order inevitably gives way to chaos, this crew has only grown stronger. More cohesive and coherent. Bound by our shared struggles. And working together, helping each other, we're able to do more than we'd ever imagined. Some of our differences couldn't be resolved, but perhaps that too can change in time. Engage. Space, the final frontier. As we take our next steps into the unknown, the greatest insights that lie ahead are what we learn about each other. We might even surprise ourselves. And no matter what threats we may come upon, or mysteries we face, we will not be shaken. We are stronger together. We are steadfast in our purpose. We are resolute.
Okay, a lot of thoughts, most of which I think I'd like to break into a separate part because we are almost exactly at the point where I would have broken the part anyway. A couple quick thoughts on the end decisions there, the end story, just off the top of my head. First of all, it would be difficult for me to overstate the level of disinterest I have in the thoughts of Lieutenant Bedrosian, the tactical officer who quit her job because she wasn't being allowed to commit enough genocide, then shows up during a tense battle and magnanimously agrees to help save her own life by taking up her tactical thing, her tactical duty again, and then presumes to lecture the captain in front of everybody on the idea that they have more options for genocide right now. Of all the losses, like, honest to God, I feel worse about Commander Westbrook. I feel worse about Captain Solano than I do about Bedrosian. She is not a Starfleet officer. She's not somebody that I would want to have on my bridge crew. The fact that she was just effusively worshipful of Jara when she came on, when Jara came onto the bridge that first time, didn't mean anything to me, because it's like, well, you've read about Jara Rydek in a lot of books. Like, I guess you followed her because she's we just played through the entire game, and I can't remember what race that she is. But none of that flattery meant anything to me. Just like I did with Westbrook, just like I did with Dr. Duvall, just like I did with Ermac. I'm so sorry, guys, that I can play this much of a game and not know their names. I was looking at how they did their duty, and I found the way that she did her duty absolutely contemptuous. I really disliked. I loved her as a character. Like, I loved her presence in the game and what she brought to it. I weep no tears whatsoever for her to be gone. And if I were interested in, like, pausing and interrupting that scene, the thing that was going through my mind is, why am I listening to my former coworker here? Like, if you have a problem with anything that's happening here, you can go gone back to your quarters and pack your bags, by the way, because you've resigned. Remember that? Remember that part? I just have no patience for her whatsoever. Secondly, Carter Diaz, on it, like, I wanna like fess up to what I did and did not remember. I did remember the fact that the accident that had happened for the Resolute had happened because they were trying to overtune their warp core, and Captain Solano was desirous of making this big breakthrough in like warp speed, warp technology, and that they'd pushed it too far, and that there'd been some sort of like a big overload, and that's what killed the previous first officer and stuff. Like, I remembered all of that from the beginning of the game, and it's just interesting how that's the thing that I remember, but not the fact that Carter Diaz was still on the ship, because when I said, let's beam over all of the Takan that were on the Aphelion, it was because they had surrendered. And the Takan have repeatedly accused the humans and the Vulcans and everybody else as just being savages. Oh, they're just primitives. They can't do anything. And what you want to do, what I want to do, is prove them wrong by proving them wrong. I really like that. Very special thanks to Gene Roddenberry and you. So, also, it's what Starfleet would do. And multiple times in this playthrough, I did what I felt that Starfleet would do. And I acknowledged it in, forgive me if it was the previous part, the part before that, just when Galvin was sort of like just high-stepping all over the place and sneering and explaining his evil plan. All I wanted to do was pull the trigger. All I wanted to do was shoot him with the phaser. But that's not what somebody in Starfleet would do. I feel like the thing that you learn about Starfleet and Starfleet training and Starfleet officers is that they always take the second shot. They wait to be fired upon before firing. They return fire. They don't preemptively attack. I didn't even particularly like it when she was sneering and like taunting Galvin there at the end, and when the option came up to end it or taunt Galvin some more, of course I ended it. Because it didn't feel befitting of a Starfleet officer to taunt and sneer, and I'm I'm trying to think of what the word is, over a helpless opponent. Also, I didn't want to give him a chance to do something else, like launch more crystals into the ship. I didn't know that he could do that. Maybe that suddenly explains why the Starfleet ships were sort of keeping their distance and not trying to get around to the sides, because he kept launching crystals, or maybe that was the first time that he did it. I very much like the fact that there were multiple Starfleet ships that showed up at the end, multiple classes of Starfleet ships specifically, because I can think of one other Star Trek property that had a big encounter with lots of Star Trek ships, Starfleet Federation ships, and they were all identical. Like, they all just showed up and they were all just the exact same make and model as far as you could tell, and that's disappointing because it's not all that common that two of the same class of Starfleet ships are ever on screen. So to have a lot of them just didn't feel right. And here it was a hodgepodge of different classes and different models of ships that showed up to help out. And then that actually played direct into the story, which I really liked as well. Finally, before we launch into something that might be a little bit more thorough of a review and a think back on it, I just wanted to acknowledge, I am absolutely shocked that there wasn't a reveal that Tylus was secretly a Takan and that she had planted the device and then modified the technical equipment and changed it so that Solano would appear to have been a Takan. I thought for sure, if you asked me an hour ago, I would have put down $10 on the idea that what would have happened is Solano would have woken up in the brig. He would have said, "What are you doing? I'm not a Takan." And then by hook or by crook, some second person would have run a scan on him using like a, I don't know, not a medical tricorder, maybe just a regular tactical tricorder. Oh wait, he's completely free. How could this have happened? And then we would have gotten some sort of reveal that while they were on the planet, Tylus had been turned during the time that she was away from Rydek, and then while she was working in sickbay, she then would have turned Dr. Duvall into a sleeper agent as well, and then the scan would have been faked. I was so sure that that was going to happen, and that the story would in fact end with Rydek being either returned to being the first officer with Solano relieved of duty for reasons unrelated to being a Takan, or Rydek being removed from, or like Rydek being returned to being lieutenant commander or something. I guess just commander, but no longer being aboard the Resolute. And then to set up for a sequel, they could have left it open that maybe in the future she would return, maybe she would be under investigation, or maybe the story would follow. It could continue to follow the Resolute, or it could continue to follow her character to an altogether different ship, maybe with some of the same characters also choosing to leave Solano's command. And that's something that we might talk about in the larger section of just how much potential there is for this to be a running series, and I would really like it to be. But let's call it here, and let's save our thoughts on the full adventure for a second video so that we can talk about it in a bit more detail. We will see you for that, I think, in just a few.